Hello, and welcome to a show that's about being your best. For some of us, heading back to work after a break can be hugely stressful. Have a look around me. Work is serious business. But what is that stress doing to our body? Does it make us perform better or worse?
Go, 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 go!
And what are the best ways to de-stress? Today we'll give you those answers, along with practical tips you can start using now. Plus, Leighton Hewitt on why life with his family helps him de-stress. A brain-boosting dish from one of the hottest chefs in the country.
The omega-3s in salmon are so good for your body, so good for your brain, and so good for your memory.
And we'll meet a guy who changed his entire life just to beat stress.
I was told sort of right then if I didn't sort of radically change some stuff, good possibility I could be dead at 35 of a heart attack.
So stick around to live healthy, be happy. For most of us, there are three simple words that instantly summon feelings of stress and anxiety. Back to work. In fact, in a 2010 survey of 35 countries, Australia finished close to last based on job satisfaction.
After a long break or a holiday, getting the brain back into gear is a very difficult thing.
It's very tough to get out of bed when you've been on holidays for a bit.
All of the emails, just the everyday stress and the long hours.
So, how does stress actually affect the body?
It's a cancer that erodes away at you. So people that get angry and fly off the handle, it's really very bad for their own health, not to mention the recipients of their anger.
We all know what stress feels like, but how do we deal with it?
Stress seems to be a big problem, especially at the start of the year, when people are thinking about what they need to do when they're going back to work. When they come in, they want something that's going to help ease the tension.
But which are the most effective solutions for stress? And how do we better manage our life to avoid it in the first place?
Meditation is one of the oldest forms of stress relief and relaxation. Studies now show that meditation builds grey matter, the very thing that we use for memory and learning. I'm here to find out this and more from the very people that have known this for thousands of years. For Buddhist monks, meditation is the key ingredient in their quest for peace and enlightenment. And the Nantian Temple, south of Sydney, is a beautiful example of that. Reverend Yo is going to take us through a guided meditation for some simple techniques that we can use at home.
Breathing in, breathing out, just relaxing. I'm going to stop talking for a moment now while you enjoy your breath. Take your time and smile. Some of the scientific research shows that people who meditate a lot will be more compassionate, more happy, and also more intelligent.
Fantastic.
There's no doubt that regular meditators do have a much broader mind, have a much better memory, because what it does is it rejuvenates the brain, and that's exactly what we want every day.
One of the hardest things about meditation can be simply finding the time, but just 20 minutes can give you all the physical and mental benefits.
Letting go in body and letting go in mind. Meditation has the benefits of stimulating the left prefrontal cortex, which is really in charge of the emotions. And so usually, more you meditate, the better and the happier you'll be with your life. Because meditation tends to calm one's mind and bring you back into the present moment.
The medical world is beginning to realise the importance of using meditation in order to handle stress. And there's no doubt that this is even moving into hospitals now.
Remember, you don't need to follow Buddhism to enjoy the benefits of meditation. Simply relaxing in the garden or sitting in your favourite room can allow that same feeling of peace to wash over you. So what time of day is the best time to meditate?
The first thing in the morning, when you first wake up, and before you get busy and get on with your day, sit up in bed and meditate as long as you like. Meditation gives us calmness and inner peace. You go about your day feeling very happy with yourself.
What's the best way to start?
What's the best way to start?
To start your practice.
Yeah, just start now.
Start right now? I'm good to go.
Hi, I'm Sean Preslin. I'm executive chef of Saki restaurants, Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. What I love about Japanese cooking is that it's healthy, it's an art form when you put it on the plate, and it's timeless. We're going to make some brain food today to increase the memory. We're going to use some salmon, very high in omega-3s, very good for your mind, and some avocado, again, beautiful for your body. Make a little salad dressing and put them together on a plate. So let's get cracking. We're going to start with some onion and garlic, putting in our blender. And if you think about our ingredients, we've got aromatics, the garlic and the onion. We've got sweet, salty, sour. So saltiness is a gluten-free soy. Sour, we've got some vinegar and also some lemon, which I'll just squeeze in here. Some mirin for sweetness. We're going to blend this up. And then we're going to emulsify it, which means thicken it up a little bit with some grapeseed oil. So we've made our beautiful dressing to complement our amazing salmon. This is a New Zealand salmon. It comes from a farm. Number one, it's sustainable. Number two, it's delicious. And number three, it's so, so good for you. The oils and the omega-3s in salmon are so good for your body, so good for your blood, and so good for your brain, and so good for your memory. Salmon's best friend is avocado. They've been hanging out for years and they get on so well together. The creaminess of avocado goes really well with most sashimi, but especially salmon. I'm just going to slice some little triangles. I mean, you can cut any shape you like. I just like to show off with my knife and cut triangles. It's going to look pretty on the plate. We've got a telegraph cucumber here. And again, he's going to feature in our salad for texture and for nutrition. It's time to plate. I'm going to arrange these salmon pieces on the side, leaving a little space in between for the vegetables. Put our little avocado pieces inside the salmon. And then these little cucumber claws. Our heroes are on the plate, and it's all about the salmon here and the avocado, so not too much emphasis on the salad. So you don't want to overdress your salad, it'll immediately wilt. So that goes in the middle. I've got some lovely little baby radish. Again, it's for colour. And then to finish, I've got a little bit of texture. So I've got some walnuts here. I'm just going to chop these up and sprinkle them on top. They're our crunch, they're our other dimension. And here you have it, my salmon avocado salad, rich in omega-3s, incredibly good for your brain and your body, and it's healthy. Enjoy.
Studies show another great way of de-stressing is through social media, because connecting with people gives us a sense of purpose and belonging. I'll go along with that. Coming up next on the show, Leighton Hewitt talks to us about how his family helps him de-stress.
Obviously, exercise is such a big part of my day and my routine every day.
And one man's journey from total stress to complete bliss.
Oh yeah.
Plus, Hamish buckles up to find out exactly how stress affects the body.
Today's show is all about stress, so what we're going to do is have an experiment on how stress affects your decision making. What we're going to do is put Stephen in a car that is just roadworthy, which is a manual, no heating, no cooling, and give you a destination to get to in a very short amount of time. You comfortable at this stage?
At this stage, yeah. Well, what are you driving?
I'll be driving a hybrid which has got heating and cooling and windscreen wipers in the wet that works pretty well. We've put a heart rate monitor on you. We're going to see if you and I arrive with different heart rates and different levels of anxiety. Are you comfortable?
Sure.
Your chariot awaits. I'll slide into mine. You can go wet.
Thanks.
Looks nice. I think his car smells. We're on.
Monitoring people's heart rates during stress or exercise are really interesting. Your heart rate should go up during exercise. The heart rate goes up during stress.
Come on. Let me in.
Then you're wasting your energy, and wasting your energy is not good for your body.
I feel like I'm in one of those day spas, you know, the chamomile teas come out, a little bit of a head rub, very, very relaxed. Stephen, I think you're starting to get a little flustered.
Why are you stopping? Go.
If you're getting stressed inappropriately on a daily basis, not only is your heart working harder, but you're also releasing the stress hormones from these things called your adrenal glands. The adrenaline is a vasoconstrictor, so it constricts the blood vessels, puts your blood pressure up, and puts a strain on all of your organs.
Stephen, I think he's in a very different world at the moment. Aggravated, stressed, rushing, he'll be making bad decisions.
Just a few minutes in and Steve has a problem. His car might be getting slower, but his heart is racing. But with no time to work out the burning smell, Steve's got to continue.
Whoa.
And now with adrenaline surging through his veins, the bad decisions start.
Increased stress can affect your heart rate and also could influence your longevity. It's particularly important when it's persistent.
Stationary in traffic, no time issues, so not stressed.
Oh, come on. You're doing 40 in a 60 zone in peak hour.
It's funny when you're feeling like you've got to be somewhere quickly, how it clouds your decision making. I was given the instruction, take your time, no rush, and suddenly the traffic doesn't seem to faze me.
See that time in the car as your own little sanctuary, rather than just seeing that trip home as that dreadful time and the horrible people around you are trying to cut in front of you. So you can't change that situation, but you can definitely make the decision to change your attitude to the situation.
Thank you, sir.
How'd that all go?
Not what I expected. A little stressful.
Did you legitimately get stressed, or are you putting it on because you said this test wouldn't work?
The time limit was the big thing, but it was the knowing that I had a heart rate monitor on, knowing that I had a time limit, and with peak hour traffic trying to make quick decisions and trying to cut corners, I took a wrong turn off.
A recent study says a third of drivers make irrational decisions when they're stressed. Are you one of those?
Before I did today, I would have said no, but now I reckon I fall into that third.
So the moral of the story is try to live a stress-free life. If you can't do that, don't make big decisions when you're stressed.
As I found out today, don't make any decisions when you're stressed.
Okay.
Today we're talking about stress and how to reduce it without losing your focus. Next is someone who knows all about that.
Leighton Hewitt is a picture of concentration on the court, but off, a laid-back family man. Leighton tells us why he and the family live overseas, but still call Australia home.
I'm in the Bahamas, and the most important thing, it's so close travelling to America and Europe, which makes me be able to prolong my career that little bit longer. Obviously, when we had 2 and now 3 kids, it just made life travelling a lot harder to keep coming back to Australia. And you know, I've had enough surgeries over the last 4 or 5 years now that it's a bit easier on my body to have the shorter trips. I love Australian rules football. I love coming back to it and seeing as much as possible, and that's been the only real positive about having the surgeries, is that I've been able to watch my beloved Adelaide Crows a bit more over here in Australia, and it's something that I probably miss the most. Cruz loves tennis. He's following in my footsteps, I guess. He loves all the different sports, so I don't know which sport he'll end up choosing down the line when he's a bit older, but at the moment he loves tennis. When we're back in the Bahamas, every afternoon after school, he has me out there hitting tennis or golf balls with him, so for me it's a lot of fun. Obviously, exercise is such a big part of my day and my routine every day. I burn a lot of calories on the tennis court, and obviously eating the right things as well, and having the right fuel in the engine out there to be able to compete. But staying hydrated, I think, is one of the most important things.
Another great tip to de-stress is laughter. Having a chuckle is known to lower tension and improve blood flow. Coming up on Live Healthy, Be Happy,
meet a man whose decision to conquer stress probably saved his life.
It seems like there's a whole lot of weight that's just sort of lifted, you know. You don't know exactly what it is that's gone on there, but things just seem a little bit easier.
Each week, we'll bring you the inspiring story of an everyday Australian who has found their own recipe for living a healthier, happier life.
My name's Gordon, I'm 37 years old. Back in my early 20s, I had a consultancy running and restructuring nightclubs and hotels and that sort of thing. It had some pretty insanely long hours. You know, an average working week could be between 70 and 80 hours, which is a bit stressful. I sort of thought if I keep up with this sort of lifestyle, running at this sort of speed, my life is just going to be too stressful to be able to sort of keep functioning effectively, and, you know, I'll end up toast at mid-30s. And it was one of those situations where a conversation sort of with a doctor actually changed sort of a lot of things for me. Said, look, you know, we've got a huge problem with your blood work, with your lipids. Your cholesterol's 9.8 and your triglycerides like 9.7, which is sort of really about as high as you could possibly want it. And I was told sort of right then, if I didn't sort of radically change some stuff, good possibility I could be dead at 35 of a heart attack. And he seemed genuine enough about that I took it on board and thought, okay, I really need to change a couple of things. To de-stress these days, I do a couple of different things. There's a particular thing with gardens and growing things that's really, really satisfying. Just getting into the garden, you know, weeding has its own little occupational therapy side to it. And actually growing the food that you eat is really satisfying, and it's also really healthy. So if you're a lot healthier, then you're generally sort of tending to deal with stress a little easier. Then sort of the other side with the healthy living is rock climbing, and I try to do that 2 or 3 times a week. That's one of those sports where you can't really think about work because, you know, there's nothing like self-preservation to focus the mind. And because you're actually focusing your mind, you don't find yourself worrying about work or other matters. It seems like there's a whole lot of weight that's just sort of lifted, you know. You don't know exactly what it is that's gone on there, but things just seem a little bit easier. I'd say to try and not burn out, find some sort of hobby that involves a bit of physical exercise. Oh yeah. You know, something that gets you outdoors and has you enjoying the sun, and do that as regularly as possible, because if you're not doing at least something along those lines, there's a lot of stuff that's going on internally that will eventually catch up with you know, and probably, you know, drink less.
Another tip for lowering stress while keeping the mind sharp is a bit of exercise. Nothing too crazy, but studies have shown that 20 minutes of activity can improve your mood for 12 hours. Coming up,
get your pens ready. I'll hit you with my top 5 stress-busting tips.
today's show has been all about beating that back-to-work stress without losing focus. And as I wrap things up, here are my top 5 tips.
Cut out the noise. Email alerts, SMS beeps, and phones ringing all distract you and break your train of thought. It takes at least 15 minutes to get into a state of concentration, so put everything on silent. Get dirty. A great way to de-stress is to start a garden. It could be organic veg or even just a small herb garden. The main thing is it gets you outside and gives you a feeling of accomplishment. Remember vitamin B. When lifestyles include processed foods, caffeine and stress, B vitamin levels in the body may be depleted. Vitamin B can help support the body in times of stress. Research also indicates that B vitamins may help reduce the severity and frequency of migraines. Breathe. Slow down and relax. Concentrate on slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Slow, deep breaths improve blood circulation, lower your heart rate, and clear your mind. Stop and smell the flowers. different scents can have an effect on your well-being. So, light some scented candles, use essential oils, or just buy some flowers. Smelling good is feeling good.
That's it for this week, but here's what's coming up next time on Live Healthy, Be Happy.
Next week, we take a look at sleep and relaxation. Ash wears herself out, looking at very different ways to relax.
Oh, I feel relaxed already.
Hamish asks, how much sleep do we actually need?
They might be clocking in the time, but the sleep's actually very interrupted.
AFL legend Tom Harley lets us in on his sleep secrets.
Sleep's really important for whatever you do. It's certainly part of stress management.
And one of the country's most exciting chefs serves up a healthy recipe for relaxation.
That is my sleep-inducing supper of ham roasted salmon with raw asparagus, pickled potato and sesame.